Brooklyn, Brooklyn, Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Woo! I was walking around last year with a Nets hat on for most of the season. One of the reasons is my Miami Heat hat flew off my head while I was on the ferry in New York Harbor. And I thought somebody stole it. I just remembered. But I wouldn't wear that hat if I wasn't a fan. I also call Brooklyn home. You guys know that. And my first NBA game was a Nets win. So let me get to the point. I was walking around in that Nets hat, and every new person that had something to say just asked me the same question. Why you wearing that hat, bro? They're trash. Let me just say, the roster has not changed much at all since last year. Barely. What I'm seeing is people who are trashing the supposed incompetency of the Nets. Big words. Although when they lost it was by small margins. The same people are now praising those same players because they've gotten over the hump. Or no, that's not because they've gotten over the hump. They're just now seeing that those players are able to go over the hump. Guess what? It seems like to me, like I said, the mentality that Kenny Atkinson has instilled in that group is real. Look at y'all again. Look at y'all again. Look how stupid y'all look again. Shout out to D'Angelo Russell for getting himself together. People finally waking up to the fact that Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Joe Harris ain't scrubs. Don't forget that name, Joe Harris. He's not a scrub. Karis LeVert ain't even playing. He's been out after that dislocated foot. Godspeed. And don't forget that the Nets have always been competitive. And I'm not talking about wins and losses. With those two max slots and a good draft pick this year, this toughness, this culture, and this city is going to draw players to the Barclays Center. I'm telling you, those fans that still show up every game are soon enough going to get what they pay for. Like the Knicks, like the Lakers, the Nets and the Celtics. The Nets will be in conversations to acquire a star or maybe two. Two max slots, again, the culture, the core that they don't have to get rid of, the city. I'm not the only one that's been saying that. But the thing is, it's a touchy subject because if the Knicks get somebody, that is gonna take a lot off the table for the Nets. I feel like what gives the Nets the edge over the Knicks is that they're not dysfunctional. Sean Marks has taken a good step as an owner for that team. You look across the river, and the Knicks, although with the core they have, again, they don't have to get rid of anybody to sign someone. That whole anyone after David Fizdale, above David Fizdale, is not a leader in that organization. That is what's going to give the Nets the edge. You're going to play in front of a good crowd in a nice arena in a beautiful city with a great mentally fit team. Jimmy Butler is a great candidate to see in the Nets uniform this summer. Klay Thompson is a great candidate. KD's a great candidate. AD, I would say AD, but AD is very likely going to the Lakers. He's trying to win a ring. And it's going to be, and I feel like KD, Klay, and Jimmy wouldn't mind playing for a New York team, the Knicks or the Nets. Very likely that the Nets are in conversation to acquire one of those three players. But I feel like at the same time, the Warriors might treat KD right, let this be his team, trade Draymond away. Klay's going to find a contract somewhere. Draymond's gone, obviously, like I said. Him and Curry. Add a couple decent young players. Somehow, some way, those guys know how to find gems, man. I'm not worried about that. You're gonna keep you're gonna stay one of the best teams just because Steve Kerr is a good coach, and again, they know how to find players. No one should ever worry about that when it comes to the Warriors. If that happens for the Nets, if they acquire a Jimmy Butler, if they acquire a Klay Thompson, which would be great. A Klay Thompson on the Nets would be great. You have a bona fide guy down low, a guy who can run the floor, can take guys out from the perimeter, who can block shots like a machine, and a guy who has a good post-up game. Kind of reminds me. I think he's more of a. I think he's a Nikola Jokic without the passing ability. He's very tough. D'Angelo Russell, a bona fide scorer. Spencer Dinwiddie, a good playmaker. Put Klay Thompson on the wings. Put Jimmy Butler in to give you 25 a game. It's a great formula. So we'll see what happens. It's gonna be I feel like it's a tougher decision than people make it out to be. The Nets are in great position, and just remember that this narrative has been going around. I've been pushing this narrative. The Nets ain't a team to play with no more.